Hey guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today we're at the penultimate round of the FSR 2023 Pro Championship and we're over at Suzuka, or Matsusaka if you will. It's going to be an important race because I'm 1 point behind Patrick 7, so we're fighting for P2 in a championship. But there's also guys like Soligiannis, Monnier, Barbukov, Fletcher. If I finish in front of those guys, anyone I finish in front of, they will not be able to overtake me in this championship anymore. So it's important to finish in front of those guys. Monnier is not participating, so for sure he cannot overtake me anymore. But to be honest, I'm looking forward. I want to get P2 in this championship. And well, my qualifying was alright, P5. Despite some pedal issues, I was able to solve them only 2 hours before the race started. And it cost me like 0.4 seconds per lap these past few days. So preparations, not quite optimal, not sure what strategy or when. It's going to be a 2-stop, but otherwise we're gonna have to wing it. So let's go. Lights on. And here we go. We get a decent getaway, and it's Leonov in front of me who gets a really good start actually. And we've got Thomas Smith on the inside, the Academy champion, and he's able to overtake me, but I want to get this position back. I don't want to be P6. So I work hard to keep the position, and I'm able to make it work. And he gave me the space, so credit to him as well. And we're all able to continue. I'm in P5, and yeah, it's not the track that's easiest to overtake on, but I don't know. If I manage my tires well, and there's some field spread, then there should be opportunities later on. So we move on to the end of lap 2, and then, oh, they break very early. Leonov and Soligiannis. I didn't want to overtake. I wasn't thinking of overtaking. Oh, there's contact here. That's some dark blue damage. That's not optimal. Yeah, for some reason they break super early, so I had to go to the inside and turn it into a dive bomb, because otherwise I would have made contact or had to go into the grass, and it's 3 wide basically. Thomas Smith again looking on the inside. I don't want to give this position back. You may be the champion, but I'm not gonna give you any more room than I need to. And again, we give each other just enough space, and once more credit to him. It did cost us time, because yeah, Soligiannis is in front of me, but then there's a bit of a gap towards Leonov in front, so that wasn't optimal. As at the end of lap 4, it's Soligiannis who goes past Leonov. That's not a place where you really want to overtake. It's pretty risky into the chicane, but yeah, he's able to make it work. Tries to break the slipstream from Leonov, but yeah, this gap is too big. Leonov is not going to come back. So it's lap 5, and Soligiannis is going to pull away, so we need to make the move as well as soon as possible. So it's the start of lap 6, and now it's our turn. Yeah, Leonov goes defensive, but we've got the overspeed. Yeah, that's good. Plenty of respect between us, and yeah, was able to carry a lot of speed into the corner, so that's the position gain. And in the background you could also see Barbukov and Smith fighting hard, and Smith, I guess, taking a page out of my book and just keeping the position by placing his car right. As we get an overview, lap 9, and it's Savitt who now takes the lead, which is not what I want, because I want to beat him for P2 in a championship. So him being in the lead and me still down in P4, that's not optimal. As we see Cameron Roger, by the way, who's gained a lot of positions from P17 on the grid. So yeah, he's looking to have a great race, as there's Balle, who had damage repairs. He's a lap down, he was behind me. I was a bit worried about him because I was on fresh tires and I was afraid he might overtake me, so I had to push quite hard, but yeah, he stuck behind, as you can see, so he didn't cost me any extra time in this battle with the other leaders, which is good. And yeah, Cameron in P10 just doing an excellent recovery job. Savitt is now putting a bit of a gap, and then me, Ivanov, and Soligiannis, we are getting closer together. And at the end of lap 15, we're sort of in a pit window. So my engineer, Mitchie Hoyer, he told me to go opposite. So let's see what Soligiannis does. He goes in. Okay, we continue. Well, I slowed down a bit too much there. It was kind of stupid. That cost me, I don't know, maybe 2 tenths, which we'll just have to take it on the chin and push hard, because then one lap later it's our turn to pit. So we went a bit longer on the hards, which means that we will get fresher tires. And yeah, Michi basically told me, you know, instead of going onto hards like Giannis did, let's go onto the mediums actually. Let's go opposite, let's be creative, and let's see what will come of it. So S7 pits on the same lap, he goes onto the hard tires, we go on the mediums. And yeah, let's see if we can make these tires work. Even though our car is a bit heavier, let's push him and gain positions as Matt Hewson that is in front of me and Leho. And this wasn't quite part of the plan, because these guys are on all tires and they're gonna hold me up. And this is a bit later on during the lap, and look at this, I'm behind Hewson, but will I risk a dive? No, I'm not. So I'm gonna have to stick behind, but then I'll have to overtake him before Spoon. So it's, yeah, get the exit, use the fresh tires, use the grip. Are we gonna go outside, inside? I don't know. So yeah, inside, so less meters. That's easier to overtake, and I'm not sure whether Matt Hewson was giving me the space there or not. I don't know, but I had to use a lot of boost to get past, and look at this gap. I lost quite a chunk of time there, which is painful, because now as a result, Ivanov, who stayed out longer, is still in front of me. I was supposed to overtake him. That was a painful loss of time there. Not Matt Hewson's fault, but it is annoying. So yeah, Ivanov, interestingly enough, he's decided to copy us, and he's now also on the mediums. So at this point I'm thinking, well, maybe Ivanov being in front of me is not too bad, because we've got a bit of a gap towards Sevet and Salagianis. And Ivanov has got fresher tires, so he can push harder, and I'm right behind him. So perhaps I can now stick with him, save my tires, maybe recharge my battery even, as Cameron, who is staying out until lap 20, he is actually in the lead. Will not be after he's made his pit stop, of course, but yeah, it's showing he's got impressive pace and is able to make the tires last, so that's good. And we move on a little bit further, lap 21, and we just saw that Giannis fighting with Patrick 7. Leho's still staying out, and yeah, I'm right behind Ivanov. Asking my engineer, you know, what are the gaps, are we gaining? As yeah, people around us are pitting. Leho did cost us a bit of time, as he's staying out very long actually. Yeah, so we lost a bit of time. And Ivanov was faster, so I decided to stay behind him until lap 25, because he was getting so much. I was like, well, at the end of this lap, he will start getting DRS from Salagianis, and at that point, it's pretty much impossible to overtake. So let's do it now. Let's overtake him while he doesn't have DRS. So I used a bit of boost, got past, and now it's important for me to close the gap and actually get DRS myself to defend against Ivanov, because otherwise he will just re-overtake, and then it will have been for nothing. So end of lap 28, and we've been able to catch his DRS, defend against Ivanov, and now it's time to go opposite again. He stays out, so we go in. Alright, yeah, what is the plan? It's 15 laps to go, 14 actually, and I reckon it's best to go onto the hards. From the little testing I did, 13 felt like the maximum I could do on the mediums, so let's go hard. And then I'll be sure that the tires will last till the end easily. So we lose a bit of positions, but this time we get down to clean air, so we're not going to be held up by anyone, and we can start pushing. Not too hard, because it is very possible to ruin your tires, as then one lap later, Patrick Savitt makes his pit stop with Ivanov, and well, here you see how powerful the undercut is. Because suddenly we've gained quite a big gap towards Ivanov, who was right behind us before the pits. So that's what I was planning to do during my first pit stop until I got held up by traffic. And Ivanov was actually able to stay in front of us. Now clean air, yeah, you can see I've gained 1.5 seconds, maybe even more, just by going one lap earlier. Interestingly enough, Savitt, okay, he's on the mediums, but Ivanov behind went on the mediums again. And at this point I was like, well, did I go for the wrong strategy? Should I have gone hard, medium, medium? I wasn't sure, wasn't anything I could do now. And then when Salagianis at this point, he also pits for the mediums. Yeah, at this point I knew, okay, everyone around me is on the mediums, so they will have the faster tire now, but probably towards the end, final laps, I will have the advantage again. So yeah, I'm trying to close in on 7, but also I've used quite a bit of battery so far, so I can't use a whole lot just to catch up. Actually, I want to save, and it's yeah, we're progressing throughout the race, and you can see everything is converging. I don't want to push my tires too hard, use too much battery to really catch up to 7, which in hindsight was maybe a bit of a mistake, because everyone behind me is getting a lot closer. As I want to give a shout out to Cameron Roger, who's made his way from P17 up to P5, and he's got quite a train of fast guys behind him, so he's had an amazing race. Lap 35, and this is where our issues begin, because I'm still not quite close enough to 7 to get DRS, and as you can see behind, Ivanov does. And he's on the mediums, he still has the pace advantage with his tires, so yeah, at this point it's no use defending, and he's able to get past. I didn't really have the battery to go for proper defense, and instead of closing up to 7, taking the lead and driving off into the distance, it's now Ivanov who's in front of me again, and I don't like this. Will Salesianos get past me? He's not quite close enough, and then he disappears. He's gotten a disconnect again. I mean, come on, that's a shit way to go. As yeah, so later on this lap 40. I'm behind Ivanov, and it's, I mean, if I want to win, I need to overtake him fast, and I get a bit of a moment on the exit. I lose a bit of time, and that's an overtake opportunity gone. I mean, there's only 3 attempts into turn 1 before the race is finished, and this was one of them. My plan was to overtake him now, overtake 7 the next lap, and then have 1 lap margin. My margin is gone, so lap 41. Okay, I need to overtake Ivanov. Oh, and as I have a moment again. Yeah, the gap is growing to like 0.8 of a second, and everyone is using all their push to pass, all the battery they have left, so I can't make the difference there. So it's a big gap again, and I'm not going to have DRS, or at least I'm not going to be able to overtake. Well, as I close up a lot in the chicane actually, so that's the tire advantage I have on the hard tires, but then, look, this gap is too big, I'm not going to be able to overtake. I may have DRS here, but it doesn't matter. That's the win gone. I don't have time to overtake Ivanov and then 7 for the win. So best I can do is P2. So I am closer now. We start the final lap. Into turn 1's the best overtaking opportunity, and the gap is too big again. Nope. I can't do it into turn 1. So it's going to have to be a bonsai. It's going to have to be a do or die into the final chicane. There's not really any other overtaking opportunities, so we move on later during the lap as Ivanov now has a moment. This is perfect. Okay, so he's lost some momentum onto the back straight, so okay, yeah, we use our push to pass, but I get a big load of slipstream going to the inside. This is difficult, and he loses it. No! Into the wall. Oh no, my front wing is gone. I don't know, I decided to cut the chicane. I wasn't sure where he was. I wasn't sure. We've got a penalty. What? Because I cut the chicane. The message on my screen was green, so I thought I'm slowing down enough to not get a penalty, because otherwise the color would change to yellow or red. So it was green, I thought it was fine, and then the moment I crossed the line, it turned red and told me I had a drive-through. So yeah, let's look at the replay. I'm on the inside, and it's tight, and then he touches the AstroTurf, and he loses it. And then yeah, I mean, looking back, this was going way too fast through the chicane, but I thought, because the message was green, I thought, okay, that's fine, I'm not going to get a penalty. But at this point, I'd crossed the line, it turned into a drive-through, and that means, you know, the race is finished, so I cannot take the drive-through, which means the game will give me a 25 second penalty. Which meant that instead of finishing 2nd or 3rd, it's P6. P6. And 7 won the race, which, I mean, very impressive. We saw him celebrate. I mean, is that the fight for P2 gone? Because of the game giving a penalty? I don't know, but I'm so annoyed with myself. I should have worked harder to try and make the chicane. I wasn't sure whether I could have, wasn't sure whether would have been further contact with Ivanov, but I should have tried that instead of cutting the chicane. But it's a split second decision, and yeah, this is the championship. I mean, the good news is we're guaranteed third in a championship, but the gap to P2 is now really big, and the only way I can still finish second is if Savet runs into some bad luck. I'm really annoyed with myself. That was, I mean, the crash, okay, that was bad luck, but then cutting the chicane, that was a wrong decision by me. And I'm really pissed off that I made that decision, so it's, yeah. Alright, one more race to go. Just, learn from it. One more race to go. Brazil. Another track that I always go well at, so we have to do it there, guys. Come on. We have to do it there. I'll see you guys.